Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of our Chichester Chats. With our new status quo, we're going to be moving most of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester Chats, to Patreon. But this one, the one Lilith and I just did with Mr. Chichester for September, is so good. We thought we're going to give you a little taste, and I'm pretty sure when you hear this for a couple minutes of the almost hour interview we did, you're going to be so chomping at the bit for more that you're going to go and sign up to Patreon, which you can sell. If you enjoy this, go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. All right, here we go. Lilith Hellfire and I talked to Mr. D.G. Chichester about his 1995 miniseries Elektra, Root of Evil.
So was this your idea, or did Marvel say, "Hey, we want a Elektra, something after Fall from Grace"? Or
no, this was I'll take credit. I think the nice thing about doing these podcasts with you guys, and is I've gotten a much better sense of myself, so I'll take more credit than I used to. This was part of the whole, I'll say, Daredevil universe machinery that we were trying to crank up, that really started with Fall from Grace and the attention that was happening on the book. And, we felt like we had re-seized some of the spotlight away from the spiders and the mutants. And we had the PR department paying attention to us, and sales were either very good or pretty good. Definitely Daredevil was getting more attention than where Marvel typically went with him, which at that point in time was very much, if Frank Miller wasn't writing it, they didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. And obviously when Frank Miller wrote it, it was worth paying attention to. But our point was, this is a core character of yours. Pay attention to him all the time. And so once we sort of had that momentum going, we had begun to proposition a lot of different things. I mentioned some of those before. We had this time travel story. We had this Daredevil Year 2 story. We had this idea that we were going to create almost a cover, corner box, sort of thing. So you'd always know these were Daredevil titles, right? No matter who was doing it. It wasn't just going to be, me. We were trying to really extend out, the run of the character so he'd have more prominence. He wouldn't quite be a Spider-Man universe, but he'd have these other things going on. And Elektra was going to be an important part of that. She would have her own kind of series of miniseries. And because we had done all this work, quote unquote, bringing her back, into the fold. Okay. Now what do you do with her? Do you just let her be a supporting character in the book, or do you give her a chance to sort of play out some of her own, character? So the proposition that we move, very rapidly into a series of her own was something that, I put forward, was quickly received well, and then it was kind of off to the races. Okay, now what do you do with it?
that was going to be my next question, because there was an ongoing series. So originally, were you going to be writing that then?
Yeah, I'm sure I would have. I'm sure I would have beaten somebody out of the way with a pool noodle or a harder object, and said that, I'm the guy. I mean, I'll go to the insecurity and arrogance mix that I was probably in that point in time of I was the guy, right? I was the Daredevil guy. I had, with Scott, obviously, brought, Elektra back into the fold. We had a vision. So, that we had not proposed an ongoing series though at that time. I mean, we saw Elektra as very, precious is probably not a good word to use with her, but, unique. And so, in our mind, a series of miniseries, made, or limited series or whatever, made more sense than an ongoing book. An ongoing book is, it's hellaciously hard, right? Not just in terms of the schedule, which is manageable, but it's that, it's the continuity that never ends. And so no matter how big an event you set up, all right, you do Fall of the Kingpin or something like that, and it's like, oh, in the next issue, where do you go? like, your stakes are always having to rise within the course of never having a chance to really reset, and so that's why I think there's something more, approachable from a creative point of view. And I think even from a reader point of view, where limited series can set you up. So we saw her as constantly being in the spotlight, but being in the spotlight with limited series that could play out her adventures now, her adventures, of the past, right? There's so much of what happened with her, that we don't know about, that there was always a chance that this could be a 2-issue thing, this could be a 4-issue thing. So we never propositioned an ongoing series, so much as thinking it that way. And this was obviously the first salvo in that, so without the character of Salvo. So anyway.
So basically the 90s Venom formula, give her a series of miniseries. And I mean, it seems like Marvel does that a lot now. It's like every time, almost when they get new creators, they almost start a new number one. It seems like almost with most of their
series. I think the number ones are, and I'm sure you guys agree to, an extent. I mean, they're gimmicks, right? I mean, they're clearly, it's
a hopping on point.
See, kids, what did I tell you? I think that's the best Chichester chat that we have done yet. So, if you want to get more Chichester chats, if you want to get more upcoming interviews, like we're going to be coming up with Kelly Thompson, with JMD Mateus. Yes, once again, go sign up for our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/capes and lunatics. Help us support this, because once again, with the Southgate Media Group no more, everyone on this team is paying for this out of their own pocket. We believe in this, so yes, please help us bring you the quality programming that you've come to expect from the Capes and Lunatics, and stay tuned, because there's even bigger and better stuff coming your way. All right, until next time, catch you later.